Quantum physics and emptiness, parallels between Buddhism and science. What if reality is not what it seems? This question cuts to the heart of human inquiry, challenging the surface perceptions that often dominate our understanding of the world. For over 2 millennia, Buddhism has examined this question, revealing that what appears solid and independent is, in fact, fluid, interdependent, and subject to constant change. In a different context, quantum physics has arrived at a similar realization. The universe, at its most fundamental level, operates in ways that defy everyday intuition, with particles existing in probabilistic states and interconnectedness, transcending spatial boundaries. Despite arising from different traditions, Buddhism and quantum physics converge on shared insights about the nature of existence. Buddhism's concept of emptiness underscores the absence of intrinsic, independent existence, emphasizing that all phenomena arise from interdependent conditions. Similarly, quantum physics has shown that particles and waves exist relationally, with their behavior influenced by observation and underlying fields of energy. Both perspectives dismantle the conventional view of reality as fixed and separate, replacing it with an understanding rooted in connection and fluidity. This shared exploration of reality challenges deeply ingrained assumptions and invites a more profound understanding of existence. By examining these intersections, a clearer picture emerges of the interconnected, impermanent, and dynamic nature of the universe. Whether through the philosophical lens of Buddhism or the scientific rigor of quantum physics, these insights open a doorway to rethinking our place within the larger fabric of existence. Understanding emptiness, śūnyatā, in Buddhism. In Buddhism, the concept of emptiness, or śūnyatā, lies at the heart of understanding the nature of reality. It is a profound teaching that transcends conventional notions of existence and non-existence. Emptiness does not imply a void or nothingness. Rather, it points to the absence of intrinsic, independent existence. This teaching challenges the way we perceive the world and invites a deeper inquiry into the interdependent nature of all phenomena. To grasp the essence of emptiness, one must first recognize the truth of interdependence. All things arise due to causes and conditions, and nothing exists independently of these factors. This principle is not a matter of abstract philosophy, but a reality that can be observed in everyday life. Consider a simple chair. At first glance, it appears to exist as a distinct, independent object. However, upon closer examination, it becomes clear that the chair is a composition of many elements: the wood, the craftsmanship of the carpenter, the sunlight and rain that nurtured the tree, and even the tools used to shape it. The chair is not an isolated entity. It is the result of countless interconnected factors. This interdependent nature of phenomena is encapsulated in the Buddha's teaching of dependent origination, or paticca samuppada. According to this teaching, everything arises in dependence on other factors. Flour, for example, depends on a seed, water, sunlight, and soil to grow. None of these elements alone constitutes the flower. Yet without them, the flower cannot exist. This interconnectedness reveals the impermanent and ever-changing nature of reality. Nothing remains static. Everything is in a state of flux, constantly transforming due to the interplay of causes and conditions. Understanding emptiness through dependent origination is not merely an intellectual exercise. It is a transformative insight that can liberate the mind from attachment and aversion. When we cling to the belief that things have a fixed, independent existence, we set ourselves up for suffering. We become attached to what we desire and averse to what we dislike, forgetting that all things are transient and subject to change. Emptiness offers a way out of this cycle of suffering by showing that there is nothing inherently permanent to hold on to. In practice, the realization of emptiness is cultivated through meditation. One effective approach is to observe the nature of thoughts. In meditation, we see that thoughts arise and pass away, depending on various conditions such as sensory input, memories, and emotions. No thought has an independent existence. They are transient and interdependent. This insight can be extended to all phenomena, revealing the constructed nature of our perceptions. The Buddha often used skillful means to convey the teaching of emptiness. For example, he described reality as being like a bubble, a mirage, or a dream, phenomena that appear real but dissolve upon closer inspection. These metaphors emphasize the fleeting and insubstantial nature of what we take to be solid and enduring. Emptiness is not a nihilistic doctrine, but a pathway to freedom. By realizing the empty nature of phenomena, we can let go of the attachments and aversions that bind us. This letting go is not a denial of existence, but a recognition of the fluid, interconnected nature of all things. When we embrace this understanding, we open ourselves to a more harmonious and compassionate way of living, free from the burdens of clinging and resistance. The teaching of emptiness also challenges the notion of a fixed, independent self. The Buddha taught that what we call the self is a collection of 5 aggregates: skandhas, form, sensation, perception, mental formations, and consciousness. These aggregates are interdependent and constantly changing. There is no unchanging essence to be found within them. This insight into the nature of the self is a cornerstone of Buddhist practice, leading to the realization of anatta, or no self. By letting go of the illusion of a separate self, we can experience a profound sense of interconnectedness with all beings. The practical implications of understanding emptiness are vast. It encourages us to approach life with humility and openness, recognizing that our perceptions are limited and conditioned. It also fosters a sense of compassion, as we see that all beings are interconnected and share in the same web of causes and conditions. This compassionate perspective can transform our relationships and inspire us to act with greater kindness and empathy. Fundamentals of quantum physics. Quantum physics, a cornerstone of modern science, has revolutionized our understanding of the universe. Unlike classical Newtonian mechanics, which describes a predictable, deterministic world, quantum physics reveals a reality that is far more complex and counterintuitive. At its core, quantum mechanics challenges the classical assumptions about the nature of matter, energy, and the very fabric of reality. One of the most striking discoveries in quantum physics is wave-particle duality. This principle states that light and subatomic particles can exhibit both wave-like and particle-like behavior, depending on how they are observed. For example, light behaves as a wave when it spreads out in patterns, such as in a double-slit experiment. However, when measured as individual photons, light behaves as discrete particles. This duality defies the classical notion that something must be either a wave or a particle. Instead, quantum physics shows that reality can exist in superposed states, challenging our conventional ways of thinking. Another fundamental concept is the Heisenberg uncertainty principle. This principle posits that it is impossible to simultaneously determine both the exact position and momentum of a particle. The more precisely one property is measured, the less precisely the other can be known. This uncertainty is not due to limitations in measurement technology, but is an inherent property of quantum systems. It underscores the probabilistic nature of quantum mechanics, where outcomes are described not as certainties, but as probabilities. Quantum entanglement is yet another mind-bending phenomenon. When two particles become entangled, their states become linked in such a way that a change in one particle instantly affects the other, regardless of the distance between them. This phenomenon has been experimentally verified and suggests a level of interconnectedness that transcends classical physics. Entanglement challenges the notion of locality, where objects are thought to be influenced only by their immediate surroundings. Instead, it reveals a universe where connections can span vast distances instantaneously. The quantum field theory further deepens our understanding of reality. It describes a field that permeates the entire universe, from which particles emerge when energy condenses. This view aligns intriguingly with the Buddhist idea of form arising from formlessness. In both frameworks, what we perceive as solid and distinct is, at a deeper level, fluid and interconnected. Quantum physics also questions the nature of reality itself. In classical physics, objects are assumed to exist independently of observation. However, in quantum mechanics, the act of observation plays a crucial role in determining the state of a system. This phenomenon, known as the observer effect, suggests that reality is not fixed, but is influenced by the presence of an observer. This insight resonates with Buddhist teachings, which emphasize the role of the mind in shaping our perceptions of the world. The probabilistic nature of quantum mechanics further challenges deterministic views of the universe. Instead of fixed outcomes, quantum systems are described by wave functions that represent a range of possible states. Only when a measurement is made does the wave function collapse into a specific state. This process parallels the Buddhist understanding of perception, where the mind constructs reality based on conditions and perspectives. Quantum physics does not provide definitive answers to the ultimate nature of reality, but it opens the door to new ways of thinking. It invites us to question our assumptions and explore the mysteries of existence with humility and curiosity. In doing so, it aligns with the spirit of inquiry found in Buddhist teachings, where understanding arises not from rigid dogma, but from direct experience and insight. Through its groundbreaking discoveries, quantum physics has expanded our understanding of the universe, revealing a reality that is interconnected, probabilistic, and deeply mysterious. It challenges us to reconsider the nature of existence and our place within it, echoing the profound insights of Buddhist philosophy. Together, these perspectives offer a rich tapestry of wisdom that can inspire both scientific exploration and spiritual awakening. Emptiness and quantum physics, points of convergence. The convergence between the Buddhist concept of emptiness and the principles of quantum physics lies in their shared challenge to conventional views of reality. Both perspectives dismantle the notion of a fixed, independent world and instead reveal a universe defined by interdependence, flux, and the critical role of the observer. While arising from distinct traditions, Buddhism through spiritual inquiry and quantum physics through empirical science, these paradigms illuminate complementary aspects of existence. A profound point of convergence is the understanding of interdependence. In Buddhism, This is articulated through the doctrine of dependent origination. All phenomena, the Buddha taught, arise due to causes and conditions, existing only in relation to other factors. This insight reveals that nothing has an intrinsic, independent essence. Similarly, quantum physics, particularly through the phenomenon of quantum entanglement, underscores the interconnectedness of reality. When two particles become entangled, they remain inextricably linked regardless of the distance separating them. A change in one particle instantaneously influences the state of the other. This defies the classical notion of locality and points to an underlying web of connectivity that aligns closely with Buddhist teachings on interdependence. The observer effect in quantum mechanics offers another striking parallel. In the quantum realm, the act of measurement determines a particle's state, collapsing its wave function into a definite form. This phenomenon highlights the participatory role of the observer in shaping reality. In Buddhism, the mind is similarly seen as a key factor in how reality is experienced. The Buddha emphasized that perception is not a passive act, but an active construction influenced by mental formations, past experiences, and underlying tendencies. Through meditation, practitioners observe how thoughts and perceptions arise and dissolve, gaining insight into the impermanent and constructed nature of their experiences. Just as the observer in quantum physics influences the observed system, the mind in Buddhism shapes the world it perceives. Quantum superposition, where a particle exists in multiple states simultaneously until observed, challenges binary thinking. This concept mirrors the Buddhist rejection of dualism. Emptiness transcends oppositional constructs like existence and non-existence, or self and other. The Buddha's teachings often point to the middle way, a path that avoids the extremes of eternalism, believing in permanent existence, and nihilism, denying existence altogether. Similarly, quantum physics shows that particles are not confined to single rigid states, but embody a dynamic potentiality that resists simplistic categorization. Beyond challenging duality, both Buddhism and quantum physics explore the nature of form and formlessness. In Buddhist thought, form arises from emptiness through the interplay of causes and conditions. This is vividly expressed in the Heart Sutra, which declares, "Form is emptiness. Emptiness is form." Quantum field theory offers a parallel perspective, describing how particles emerge from the underlying quantum field, a vast dynamic potential. In both cases, what appears as solid and discrete at one level dissolves into interconnected processes at a deeper level. The integration of these insights into human understanding prompts profound questions. For example, if reality is shaped by observation, as quantum physics suggests, what does this imply about consciousness and its role in the universe? In Buddhism, consciousness is understood not as an isolated entity, but as a process that arises and ceases in dependence on conditions. This perspective resonates with emerging scientific explorations into the relationship between consciousness and quantum systems. While science has yet to reach definitive conclusions, the parallels invite continued dialogue and inquiry. Both frameworks challenge the conventional belief in separateness, whether it be the division between observer and observed in quantum mechanics, or the self and other in Buddhism. This shift from separation to interconnectedness has profound implications for how we perceive ourselves and our relationship with the world. By recognizing the interdependent nature of existence, we can cultivate a sense of responsibility and compassion, understanding that our actions ripple through the interconnected web of life. The resonance between emptiness and quantum physics does not imply that they are identical or interchangeable. Each offers unique insights and methodologies. However, Their points of convergence enrich both scientific and spiritual exploration, encouraging a deeper appreciation of the complexity and mystery of existence. The observer's role in reality. The role of the observer in shaping reality is a theme that bridges the realms of quantum physics and Buddhism. Both traditions recognize that perception is not a passive act, but an active interplay between the observer and the observed. This insight challenges the notion of an objective, external reality, independent of the observer, and opens profound questions about the nature of existence and consciousness. In quantum physics, the observer effect is a fundamental principle. At the quantum level, particles exist in a state of superposition, representing a range of potential states. When measured, the act of observation collapses this superposition into a specific state. This phenomenon reveals that the observer plays a pivotal role in determining the outcome of a quantum system. It disrupts the classical assumption of an independent reality that exists regardless of observation. Buddhism, through centuries of introspective practice, arrives at a similar understanding of the observer's role. The Buddha taught that the mind does not passively receive reality, but actively constructs it. Perceptions, thoughts, and emotions are conditioned by past experiences, mental formations, and present circumstances. The practice of mindfulness reveals this process in real time, allowing practitioners to observe how their mind shapes their experience of the world. The Buddhist concept of the five aggregates, or skandhas, offers a detailed framework for understanding the constructed nature of the self and perception. These aggregates, form, sensation, perception, mental formations, and consciousness, are interdependent processes that give rise to the sense of a coherent self. However, the Buddha emphasized that this self is not an independent entity, but a dynamic interplay of conditions. Just as the observer in quantum physics cannot be separated from the observed system, the Buddhist understanding of the self dissolves the boundary between subject and object. The question of consciousness further deepens the connection between these two perspectives. In quantum physics, some interpretations suggest that consciousness may play a role in the collapse of the wave function. While this idea remains speculative and controversial, it aligns intriguingly with Buddhist teachings on the mind's central role in shaping reality. Buddhism does not posit a metaphysical consciousness that creates the universe, but rather explores the ways in which awareness conditions experience. From a Buddhist perspective, the self is a process, not a fixed entity. This aligns with the quantum view of particles as probabilistic rather than deterministic entities. Both perspectives challenge rigid notions of identity and permanence, encouraging a more fluid and interconnected understanding of existence. The implications of the observer's role extend beyond theoretical inquiry. In daily life, recognizing the participatory nature of perception can lead to greater mindfulness and intentionality. Buddhism teaches that by understanding how the mind constructs reality, we can free ourselves from habitual patterns of attachment and aversion. This liberation is not an abstract goal, but a practical transformation that reduces suffering and fosters compassion. Similarly, quantum physics, while not prescribing ethical principles, reveals a universe that is profoundly interconnected and influenced by observation. This insight challenges the notion of separateness and invites a deeper reflection on our place within the cosmos. Together, these perspectives inspire a holistic view of existence that honors both the scientific and spiritual dimensions of human inquiry. Differences and complementarity. While the parallels between Buddhism and quantum physics are striking, it is equally important to acknowledge their differences. These distinctions do not diminish their respective insights, but highlight the unique approaches and purposes of each discipline. Understanding these differences provides a more nuanced view of how science and spirituality can complement one another. One key difference lies in their methodologies and objectives. Quantum physics is a scientific framework designed to describe the behavior of matter and energy at microscopic scales. Its aim is to develop precise, testable models that explain phenomena and predict outcomes. Buddhism, on the other hand, is a spiritual path focused on alleviating human suffering and attaining liberation. It offers tools and practices for transforming the mind and cultivating insight into the nature of existence. While quantum physics seeks to uncover the mechanics of the universe, Buddhism is concerned with the experiential understanding of life's impermanence, interdependence, and non-self. Another distinction is in their scope. Quantum physics operates within the physical realm, describing phenomena that can be measured and observed empirically. It refrains from addressing questions of meaning, purpose, or ethics. Buddhism, however, extends beyond the physical to explore the nature of consciousness and the ethical dimensions of human life. The Buddha's teachings provide a framework for living harmoniously, guided by principles such as compassion, mindfulness, and the avoidance of harm. Despite these differences, the two disciplines are not mutually exclusive. Instead, they can inform and enrich each other. Quantum physics, with its insights into the interconnected and probabilistic nature of reality, can deepen our appreciation of Buddhist teachings on interdependence and impermanence. Similarly, Buddhism's emphasis on mindfulness and self-awareness can offer valuable perspectives for those exploring the philosophical implications of quantum mechanics. The synergy between science and spirituality becomes evident when considering their shared humility in the face of the unknown. Quantum physics has revealed a universe that defies classical intuition, where certainty gives way to probability and interconnectedness. Buddhism, too, teaches the limits of conceptual understanding, emphasizing direct experience and insight over fixed beliefs. Both disciplines remind us that our current understanding is provisional and invite us to approach reality with curiosity and openness. Where quantum physics reaches its limits, Buddhism offers practical tools for navigating the human experience. While quantum mechanics describes phenomena at the smallest scales, it does not address how to live a meaningful life within this interconnected reality. Buddhism fills this gap by providing ethical guidelines and contemplative practices that foster harmony and reduce suffering. By integrating the insights of science and spirituality, individuals can cultivate both a deeper intellectual understanding and a more compassionate, intentional way of being. Practical applications. The convergence of quantum physics and Buddhism offers practical insights that can transform the way we live. By integrating the principles of interdependence, impermanence, and mindfulness into daily life, we can foster greater awareness, adaptability, and compassion. One practical application is the cultivation of a deeper understanding of interdependence. Quantum physics reveals that the universe operates as an interconnected whole, where even distant particles can influence each other instantaneously. Buddhism echoes this truth through the teaching of dependent origination, which emphasizes that all phenomena arise in relation to others. Recognizing this interconnectedness encourages us to act with greater awareness of how our choices impact others and the world around us. This perspective fosters compassion, as we see that the well-being of one is intertwined with the well-being of all. Embracing uncertainty is another valuable lesson. Quantum physics challenges the deterministic view of the universe, showing that reality is shaped by probabilities rather than fixed outcomes. This principle aligns with the Buddhist teaching that clinging to certainty and control leads to suffering. By learning to accept the impermanent and unpredictable nature of life, we can cultivate resilience and let go of the need to control outcomes. This adaptability allows us to navigate challenges with greater ease and openness. Mindfulness practices provide a bridge between these insights and everyday experience. In meditation, we observe the transient nature of thoughts, emotions, and sensations, gaining a direct understanding of impermanence and interdependence. This practice not only aligns with the principles revealed by quantum physics, but also offers a tangible way to embody these truths. Through mindfulness, we develop the capacity to respond to life with greater clarity, patience, and compassion. Quantum physics also suggests that we are part of a unified field, a perspective that can inspire a sense of belonging and connection. Meditation practices that emphasize interconnectedness, such as metta, loving-kindness meditation, help us cultivate a felt sense of unity with all beings. This sense of connection can dissolve feelings of isolation and foster a greater sense of purpose and responsibility. In addition to individual transformation, these insights have broader implications for society. Recognizing interdependence can inform more compassionate and sustainable approaches to addressing global challenges such as climate change, social inequality, and conflict. By shifting from a mindset of separateness to one of interconnectedness, we can work toward solutions that honor the interconnected web of life. The future of science and spirituality. As humanity continues to explore the nature of reality, the dialogue between science and spirituality is likely to deepen. Quantum physics and Buddhism, with their shared focus on interconnectedness and the observer's role in shaping experience, provide fertile ground for interdisciplinary research and collaboration. One promising area of exploration is the relationship between consciousness and quantum systems. While the exact nature of this relationship remains speculative, emerging fields such as quantum consciousness studies aim to bridge the gap between the physical and experiential dimensions of reality. These investigations raise profound questions about the nature of awareness and its role in the universe, inviting contributions from both scientists and contemplative practitioners. Collaborative efforts, such as the Dalai Lama's dialogues with leading scientists, demonstrate the potential for mutual enrichment. These conversations have led to new research initiatives, such as studies on the effects of meditation on the brain and the integration of contemplative practices into education and healthcare. Such endeavors highlight the practical benefits of combining scientific rigor with spiritual insight. The future of this dialogue also holds implications for ethics and values. As quantum physics reveals a universe that is deeply interconnected, it challenges us to reconsider how we relate to one another and the planet. Buddhism, with its emphasis on compassion and mindfulness, offers a framework for living in harmony with this interconnected reality. Together, these perspectives can inspire a more holistic and compassionate approach to addressing the challenges of our time. In conclusion, the convergence of quantum physics and Buddhism invites us to explore the mysteries of existence with humility, curiosity, and openness. By integrating the insights of these two disciplines, we can cultivate a deeper understanding of reality and our place within it. This integration is not merely an intellectual pursuit, but a transformative journey that has the potential to enrich both our inner lives and our collective future.